Welcome back to Fields of Tyrone for FS25. Now, we're going to go for a wee bit of a drive and then we're going to swap vehicles. I'm going to show you where I've decided to buy my farm. So it's an interesting place. So I had a look all around the map. I found about 3 farm plots that I like. So we'll just have a wee bit of look at a couple of them and then I'll show you why I decided not to go with them and which one I did decide to go with instead. Now this is the first one that I quite liked. The problem with this one, this is Dairy Brennan Farm, and the thing that kind of put me off this one a wee bit was how close it is to the store. I wanted to be further away from the store than this. This is literally just across the road from the store, so that kind of put me off this one, but the actual farm layout I quite liked. And I'll just go for a bit of a drive down here. I'll show you a couple of other things that I quite liked on this map. The road's a bit rough just there. Now also I mentioned on the last video I did that vehicles overtake on this map. I think there's actually a little English map that I had a look at that they overtake on. I don't think they do on this one, so I apologise. Turned too far there, sorry. I wasn't deliberately lying to you. On this map the vehicles tend to just queue up behind you if you stop or are going too slowly rather than overtake. The one where the vehicles overtook me was a little English map that I looked at where there was actually only one road with lots of little bits coming off that road, and I actually decided not to... Oh, I've turned in the wrong one, haven't I? Yep. I decided not to continue on that map. I decided it wasn't that good. I think what they must have done with that map, because vehicles definitely overtake you on that map if you're going too slowly or if you're stopped. So I think because the map only consisted of one road, perhaps they had splines and then little offshoots of splines that meant the AI could go onto the wrong side of the road to overtake. And I did notice vehicles indicating to do so. So it was obviously designed that way, you know, that it indicate when they pulled out and then indicate to pull back in again as they overtook you. Now if we go along here a wee bit further, and it might be this road. No, there's no road there. It must be down here a bit further. So anyway, the last farm I just showed you, I did really like, but I didn't appreciate the fact it was only just across the road from the store. I wanted more of a drive than that. And up here someplace, where is it? Come on. Probably around here somewhere. So I'm still kind of learning the map a wee bit, but I do like the look of this map. It's this one here. So if I turn here, if you go along here, I really love the look of the view on the left there, looking down into the valley with all the mist. And that mist there is one of the things that I just didn't realise I missed it until I had it. You know, early versions of Farming Simulator obviously didn't have the mist, and I know that Fury said that you get sick of it after a while. I can well see how you could, but until when you've never had it, you don't miss it. Now this was another house I rather like the look of, just this one here. Now I have got a mod loaded which lets you make things disappear, so I could have, with this one here, I can go up to here and I'll press H on that van. Maybe I have to be alongside it for it to work. If I go H, actually doesn't want to work on that van. For some reason I can't make this van disappear. I think it's H I use to make things disappear. Yeah, it is, but that van doesn't want to be one of them. Okay, it's probably just why I didn't choose this house in the end then. So I thought about this house here, get rid of the van out of the driveway so I could put my own vehicle there instead. I thought it's quite a nice looking house, so that would make a nice farmhouse. And then, fairly expensive farmhouse admittedly. A lot of the farmhouses on this map I've discovered look fairly expensive. Anyway, if you come along here, I was thinking, you see, that if I'd bought that as a farmhouse, I hadn't realised at the time that van was immune to being made to disappear. Along here further, there's a nice little red farm shed here. Just here that could become part of my farm. So I was thinking that house that's sort of a block away, and this would be part of my farmyard, and I'd extend it out a wee bit. So I was thinking about that, but I decided not to go with that as well. I'm just going to park the truck here, and we're going to jump into the tractor instead, so I can go and show you my farm. And there's a reason we're jumping into the tractor instead, because there's something else I want to show you at the same time, another mod that I've found. Better put the beacons on since we're going out on the road. Okay, so we're heading back the same way as we just went in the truck, past that farm on the left. That was one of the possibilities for me buying. I've noticed pedestrians seem to walk a long way out on the road on this map, and also pedestrians walk into just about every farm property. So if you've got a farmhouse, expect pedestrians to be walking up to the door of your farmhouse. So this isn't quite as fast as the Hilux, the Land Cruiser that we were just driving, so but we'll get there. And this is a bit of a drive to what I've decided is my farm. Now there was one other farmyard on here that I quite liked as well, but it's too far out of the way for me to take you and show you now, especially given that I decided not to purchase that one either. So I have come up with what's going to be my perfect little farm here. But the interesting thing is that it's not designed on this map to be one of the farms you can buy. So it's not designed to be sort of a farm you buy. And as a result, it's very similar to the next one we come up to on the right here in a way. This is another one I considered. This area just up here, it's got a nice little yard here that I thought would make a good farmyard. This is actually a sell point, but I decided against this one. Now the farm I have decided to buy, now we see another mod in action right now on our right. We stop here for a second. You can see a tractor over there mowing. So that's the neighbours do work mod. So, and you can set how many neighbours you can have. So I think from memory I have it set to a maximum of 15 at a time. We can go and have a double check though. I think I chose 15. If I go down to here you go, neighbour AI, maximum number of fields 15, so that's the most neighbours I can have at once. Compete for existing contracts I've got on, and field adjustment for contracts I've got on. So how actually I think, I'm not sure whether I'm going to have that last one off perhaps. I'll have to have a look. But how that competing for contracts bit works, as you know, in Farming Simulator you've got contracts here. So there's the contracts I'm thinking of. Okay, so jobs you can go and do for other farmers. Now, the way I've got it set is you can have it either set so that the neighbours will never go and pick up any of these contracts. If this one's here right now, if I come back later on the same day, it will still be there. Okay, but so I was just checking what that one did because I hadn't seen that one before. I've got it set so that sometimes those AI contractors, it looks like that farmer's finished mowing that field now, will take those contracts. So if you don't take one when you see it, if you go back in a couple of hours to get it, it might be gone because one of the AI neighbours might have taken it instead. Now we'll just actually we'll stay on this view at the moment. So this is all a very narrow single lane track going down here, and it winds for quite some way really. Now one of the things I like about these English and Irish maps, and this one's an Irish one, but English maps are often the same, is when you get long twisty lanes like this, it seems like you're travelling a lot further than you actually are. One, because you have to go slower because of how narrow it is, and two, because it twists instead of just being a long straight line. So it means that you can have a smaller map, but it feels bigger, and that's one of the things I like. So at the end of this lane here, I'm just jumping out of the cab now to show you. Okay, so this here, once this pedestrian leaves, we'll just run him over. So that's what's going to be my new house anyway. This is going to be my farmhouse. Now I should actually check if I can get rid of that van there. Hopefully I can, but I'm not holding a lot of hope after I couldn't get rid of the last one. So look, no, it just doesn't want to let me get rid of the van for some reason. So I might be stuck with a van in my yard. Oh well, I can live with that because this yard's bigger, so it's not going to get in the way. I'm going to have to place a I have, if I just go, let's just go into this section for a second. So I do actually need to check I can actually buy this plot of land. I hadn't actually checked that. I know I can buy like farmland like that. Ah, you know what? It's not even going to let me buy that. That's going to cause a problem because it means I can't put a doormat down there, I don't think. I'll just double check that. One moment, please, caller. So if I go to across to here, farmhouses, I've bought a doormat one. And if I, oh, come on, zoom in. Sorry about this. And what I was planning is putting a doormat down. Why is it not wanting to do things? Come on, down here, because that would form a sleep trigger then, which means this house would have a sleep trigger, and also means that it's where I would now see it says this land's not owned by you, so it's not wanting me to place it there because I don't own the farmhouse. Well, that's a bother because this is where I was planning on buying. I'm just going to check actually. Let's just hang on. Placing objects in free mode can cause issues with the functionality of the objects or vehicles, but it allows more freedom of placement. To flatten the earth, okay. No, even on free mode, it just won't let me. Yeah, it's just not letting me place it there if I don't own that land, and that is a problem because I cannot buy that land. It's not something that's viable. And I think the reason it's not viable, let's just check here. She doesn't even have a buy option there. There's a tag or a visit. Anyway, I'll show you. So this is what I was planning on being my farmhouse. I might have to do a wee bit of rejigging slightly. So this will still be my farmhouse. If we jump back in the tractor for a minute, and back out of there, up along here. Now it's not a very high res shed, this one, unfortunately. This map's got some high res sheds and some that aren't. I thought when we get here, now this is a sell point, as you can see. That's why there's a grate there. And what I was thinking is I won't treat it as a sell point, so it's not. That's my intention, not selling anything there because it's right outside my front yard. But I did think I'd go along here and get rid of this barrier just so it doesn't look like we're at the edge of the map. So I can get rid of that. I can also, in this shed here, I have already checked this. I can go up to these vehicles here. Come on. Let's do it. Oh. Sorry. Hide. Yes. And when you hide them like this, it gets rid of the crash physics off them as well. So by getting rid of everything that's in the shed, it means the shed is now empty. I was thinking I'd leave the whole combine harvesters and the old tractor here because they kind of add to the whole ambience of the yard, and I like those. But now, because I've got rid of, I'm not going to fit in that shed with the plough on, so let me just take the plough off for a second. But now that I've got hidden those things that were in the shed there, there's no crash physics for them, so I can now actually use the shed as a farm shed. And I thought this would be part of my farm shed. As I said, my intention is not to use the grid there, the grate there, which is a sell point. So yeah, this farm was designed to be a sell point rather than a farm. But I just quite like the little layout of it. I'd put a gate in here, and I would have to. There's still a lot of work to do on this, obviously, because at the moment there's no cow yard, there's no milking shed, there's no other storage sheds for tractors apart from that one big one there. So it's going to take a bit of work. But while we're here, I wanted to also take the opportunity to show you another mod. So what we're going to do, just for a second, I'm going to buy this paddock here, just so I'm actually going to redo everything and set the farm up properly. I just want to show you another mod that I found and that you may have already seen on other people's videos, but I really like it, so I want to show it off. So let's just come in there, put the plough down. I can turn the beacons off now that we're in a paddock. Fold that down, and now we start ploughing up this field, and watch what happens. Aha! You can probably hear those gulls there. If we look behind us, you can see I've got gulls landing where I'm ploughing, so I can zoom out a bit so you can see it better. So that's another mod that I didn't know I needed until I saw it. My understanding here is that when you're ploughing like this, because it's turning over the earth and digging into it, it's bringing up like a whole lot of worms and things that would have worms and other grubs and things in the earth that were under the earth are now being exposed by the ploughing, and that's what attracts the gulls. They come to feed on the I do know you get a lot of gulls like that whenever you go to the tip, because they're trying to scavenge over the things that people are dumping. But I just really like that mod. Now that mod also has a lot of adjustments to it, so we'll just go in here for a second so I can show you. If we go into settings and I go right down to, that's your neighbour AI mod, which I showed you already. Here's the field goals mod, so you can choose the volume of sound you want them at. You can choose the maximum number of birds you want appearing. You can also choose the whole chance of them appearing altogether. So, like if you have it set to 50%, for example, half the time you plough, no gulls will turn up. I think the default option was 70%, I think. So I turn up 70% of the time when you're ploughing. I've turned it up to 100%. Now the reason I've turned it up to 100% is, of course, I'm going to be running a dairy farm, so I won't be ploughing very much. I might occasionally plough up some grass fields to re-sow them, because even though, as far as I'm aware, if you plant a grass field rather than just use one that's already grass like this, you get a better yield than the one that you didn't plant the grass seed yourself. But once you've planted one, the yield never goes down over time. Whereas I suspect in real life, the yield would. And probably every, 3 to 5 years, you'd have to plough up your grass field and then re-sow it in grass again. So my intention is to do exactly that. So probably every 3 years, I will be replanting my grass fields again. I'll be ploughing them up like this and then coming in with a seeder and replanting them. But because I don't plough very often, I want the gulls appearing every time I do. So yeah, I did just want a chance to show off that mod, because I think it's brilliant. But now if we ignore the mod now, what I can do is, I think from memory, if I raise the plough again so that I've finished ploughing, the gulls pretty quickly disappear. As soon as you lower the plough, even if you don't start ploughing straight away, they tend to appear. I don't actually know. I thought they disappeared as soon as I raised the plough, but they haven't quite disappeared yet, so it must be on a timing thing. They'll disappear shortly. But if you look around this area here, a nice sized paddocks. There's a wee bit of a valley down there, so I get a wee bit of mist in the valley, in the depths of the valley there. But so this is what I'm planning on turning into my farm. Now, because I've just discovered during the making of this video, I can't put a doormat farmhouse thing out by the house there. What I might have to do is, because I can buy the paddocks like this, I might have to put my doormat in the edge of a paddock sort of thing, just so that I can still have my sleep trigger at my farm. And so that's kind of annoying, and that'll be because this is actually designed as a sell point and not as a farm to buy. That'll be why it's like that. But since it won't let me plant that, what I can do is I'll obviously be buying the paddocks all around this. So what I might just do is put a little sleep trigger somewhere very nearby to the farmhouse. Like, for example, if the sleep trigger was here, for example, or just hidden in the hedge kind of thing, then all I have to do is each time I load the game, I just have to run across the road and I can start the game in my house here. Okay, so that might be the way I end up having to do it, something like that. But yeah, so this, even though it's not designed as a farm, it's designed to be a sell point. I've decided that this is going to be my farm, and if I now go, so as you can see, I got rid of all the vehicles in the shed there. I will put a gate in here, because I've got gates I can put in there, of course. I got rid of the thing there. This is still the end of the road, of course, but I just didn't want the bright orange barrier there, making it quite so obvious that it was the edge of the map. So if I go back to the map here, and you can see I'm right on the edge of the map there, with my farmhouse. I've already checked, so I'll be owning this paddock, I'll be owning this paddock, I'll be owning all the ones coming along here further. I don't know exactly how far I'm going to go along. I'm going to own quite a few down this edge, and some coming up this edge, and maybe some even coming back in this way a wee bit, because the road from where we are here, so we're right here at this purple tip trigger here, so the road goes around here, twists around here, twists down here, twists around here, twists down here, and comes out. That was that other little farmyard we saw right there. So this is the intersection. So this is a 2-lane road here, and that'll be the closest that any AI traffic on the roads gets to my farm. And from here right down here is all single twisty lane. So yeah, so that's going to be my farm, and the next time I do a video I will hopefully have at least some of my farm all set up there that you'll be able to see. It's kind of annoying that I cannot buy that farmhouse. I mean, I get it because it's it's right next door to the sell point. I get why I can't buy it, but it is annoying that I can't. Actually, it might not even matter that I don't have a sleep trigger there, because I've got a visit option there, and if I choose that, it takes me straight to here. So that would be a way to get to my farm very, very quickly to start each game after I load it as well. So yeah, I might actually not even have well, I still need a sleep trigger so that I can actually... Oh, I know what I could do actually. One of the mods I found was a portable sleep trigger. It was a duffel bag. I wonder if I can leave that lying around in the yard somewhere in the corner of the shed on property I don't own. I possibly can. So I will experiment a wee bit more with that, but next time I come back to you, we'll hopefully have some of this farm set up as a dairy farm. So you'll see a cow yard there, you'll see a barn perhaps. I'll probably have a barn, but I'm not absolutely certain. You'll definitely see a milking shed, definitely. And it does look a bit strange when you look at it that way, of course, because I'm right on the edge of the map, but we just won't do that. But yeah, we'll have a milking shed, we'll have a cow yard, and we'll have paddocks full of cows, and we'll have some equipment and things in our shed. And as I said, my intention at this stage is not to use the cell trigger here, so not use this grate. I could cover it up by lifting the level of the ground. I don't really want to do that because it might muck up the game, since it is meant to be a cell trigger, and I'm not absolutely guaranteeing 100% I'll never use that cell trigger, because if that cell trigger's got by far the best prices, then I just might use it. But it's my intention at this stage not to use it, because I want to have to drive places to sell anything. I mean, generally, no, I can't buy anything there, can I? No. Generally speaking, I have the milk on auto sell, so I don't take my milk anywhere to sell anyway. So it's not actually very often I sell things, because I'm not doing a lot of crops. I'm mostly doing dairying. So really I don't use cell triggers an awful lot, because I have milk on auto sell. I might have some spare bales to sell from time to time, but I'll definitely not sell bales just right outside my own yard here. I'll take bales to one of the further away bale triggers to sell them, so it takes a bit more effort to do it. But hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you all again later. Thanks. Bye.